3 in the morning, Manhattan Business Tower. The kind of place that never really sleeps, but sure as hell doesn't expect a janitor like me to be the first witness to something that would blow the whole roof off. The executive elevator never stops on the 25th floor at that hour, not unless something's wrong. And there I was, mop bucket parked, watching through the tinted glass as Victoria Sterling, the one whose face is on magazines, and stock ticker suddenly collapsed onto that mahogany table worth more than my annual salary. Her face twisted, her left arm dangled, and when she tried to call for help, her words melted into mush. I knew exactly what I was seeing. Stroke. Not stress, not exhaustion, not too much wine at a late meeting. Stroke, full stop. And in that moment, I heard my late wife Dorothy in my head like she was still standing next to me. 15 years as a neurology nurse, 20 years of turning our dinner table into a classroom, her telling me again and again that knowledge is the only weapon you carry everywhere. She used to say, "Jamie, emergencies don't care if you're a janitor or a CEO, they only care if someone knows what to do in time." And I swear, that voice in my head shoved me into that room. "Ms. Sterling, you're having a stroke. Don't try to talk, just listen." That's what I said, as calm as I could, though my heart was hammering like a snare drum. I called 911, rattled off her symptoms, positioned her the way Dorothy had drilled into me 100 times. When the paramedics burst in, they found her stabilized, not by her expensive doctor, not by some corporate handler, but by invisible janitor. One of them even muttered, "This guy knows more than half the nurses I work with." But I didn't wait for thanks, didn't even stick around for a pat on the back. I went back to my mop, because that's what you do when you're invisible. Next morning, though, instead of a handshake, I find a notice pinned to my locker, formal warning. Unauthorized access. Improper use of the executive elevator. Signed by Wilson Carter, head of security, the kind of guy who struts around measuring his self-worth by how miserable he can make others. You know the type. Now, I'm no fool. I know the system. 15 years of spotless work wiped out in a single sheet of paper just because I had the audacity to save the wrong person's life. But what rattled me wasn't the warning itself, it was how fast Carter seemed to know about what happened. Hospitals don't make courtesy calls to building security. Paramedics don't file corporate memos. Someone was watching her movements real close, and not in the way a good security guy should. That morning I kept an eye upstairs cleaning, but watching too. And sure enough, Dr. Patterson, her personal physician, waltzes in hours late, face pulled tight, with something between irritation and panic. Through the glass, I catch him arguing with Carter, voices sharp, body language coiled like snakes. And Dorothy's old mantra came back to me: when a high-powered executive suddenly gets sick, don't just ask, why now? Ask who benefits. It hit me like a punch. Maybe this wasn't natural at all. Then came the twist. Victoria herself called me into her office. I walked in expecting a reprimand, maybe even a pink slip, but there she was, pale but sharper than the night before, staring at me like she was seeing me for the first time. "James, I want to thank you for saving my life. But tell me, did my symptoms look natural to you?" And I'll be honest, that stopped me cold. A billionaire CEO asking a janitor if she'd been poisoned? That's not a casual question. She told me Patterson brushed it off as stress, prescribed sedatives, told her to take a vacation. And that's when every alarm in my body went off. Sedatives for a stroke? That's not just bad medicine, that's sabotage. Over the next weeks, I kept invisible but alert. That's the trick with janitors: you move like a shadow. People don't notice, but you see everything. And what I saw chilled me. Patterson dropping by Carter's office 3 times a week, carrying a brown medical briefcase he never let out of sight. One night, I parked my cleaning cart a little too close to their half-open door and overheard the truth: they were actively poisoning her, calling it vitamins. 6 months, maybe less, before the next episode finished her off. They laughed about it, about how the press would blame stress and mental health, a perfect smokescreen for Carter to step in and grab the reins. Now, I knew I couldn't fight this alone. That's when Marcus Johnson came in, a vet, HVAC maintenance guy, 10 years younger than me, sharp as a blade, raising 3 kids on contractor pay. He pulled me aside one day, said he overheard Carter talking about buying Sterling stock before leadership changes. I told him everything. He didn't blink. "That's attempted murder with financial fraud," he said, "but you'll need proof." And together we drew up a plan, him planting surveillance equipment through the vents with the precision of a military op, me coordinating from the floor like I'd been rehearsing for this my whole life. The recordings we got, pure dynamite. Patterson and Carter spelling out every ugly detail, from doses to fake test results to market manipulation strategies. 92 hours of conversations. And the arrogance, they even laughed about me, called me the lucky janitor. Thought I was too dumb to understand what I'd overheard. That arrogance was their blind spot. I left Victoria an anonymous note at a board meeting. The vitamins aren't vitamins. Check the bottle. Someone who cares. Watching her read it, her face shift as she pieced it together while Carter droned on about numbers. That was the first time I felt we had her on our side. A few days later, she confronted Patterson directly, holding up that bottle, daring him to say she was imagining things. His face betrayed him before his mouth even opened. Meanwhile, Marcus and I had already sent full evidence packets to the FBI, SEC, medical board, and the press. The takedown was cinematic. One morning, Carter strutted into a meeting, only to find federal agents waiting with cuffs. Patterson got nabbed trying to delete files from his office. And the world woke up to headlines about the janitor who saved the CEO and exposed a conspiracy. Victoria didn't just think Mesh promoted me, doubled down by launching a scholarship in Dorothy's name for low-income kids to study medicine. I went from invisible janitor to director of corporate integrity, sitting on the 26th floor with my own office, budget, and a view of Chicago. Carter? 25 years in prison, stripped of assets, his arrogance buying him nothing behind bars. Patterson? Medical license gone, working as a salesman, reputation in ashes. Victoria? Stronger than ever, leading a company that became a model of corporate ethics. And me? I had Dorothy's photo in a silver frame on my desk, knowing she'd be proud that the knowledge she drilled into me not only saved a life, but changed the system itself. And yet, here's the part one keep thinking about: was it justice? Or was it just dumb luck that the right janitor happened to be on the right floor at the right time? Would Carter and Patterson still be out there, smiling for cameras, if I hadn't stopped to look through that glass? You tell me, was it courage or just common decency? Because in my experience, doing the right thing in the wrong place can get you punished just as fast as it can make you a hero. So here's my question for you: what do you think? Was this justice served, or was it just a fluke? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you believe competence and truth really can cut through power and arrogance, or if this was just one lucky janitor's story that could have gone the other way. Because maybe the bigger question is, if you saw the truth being buried right in front of you, would you have the guts to dig it out?